Hey everyone, today I had the pleasure to have coffee and blueberry pie with a very sweet lady. Something to keep in mind when you're working as an in-home caregiver for people is that you want to respect their privacy. So please forgive me for being relatively vague when I'm talking about my story. So if you're new to my channel, I am currently on break at work during a 16-hour shift, and I promised my viewers I would post every single day this year, and here I am right now making the most of my time. So I work as an in-home caregiver, and the client that I work for wanted to go visit their friend. We tend to go visit her friend once a week, and her friend, we'll call her Sue, which is not really her name, but that's the name we're using here for the sake of privacy. Sue lives at an elderly care facility or elderly care center, a community for people who are in their golden years. Typically when I'm there, I let them have their conversation, and I'm just trying to be present for whenever someone's needs arise, and I can rise to the occasion, whether it's to fill a cup of coffee, hand someone their tea, get them their cell phone, help them take their mask on and off. But today I was asked to help bake a pie in the oven and show Sue how to use the oven. So some interesting things about Sue. Sue is 94, and she'll be turning 95 in a couple of months. She's got it more together up here than I think many people who are 20, 30, or even 40 years younger than her. She seems to have taken very good care of herself over the years, and she's just incredibly sweet person. She's always very optimistic and kind and making jokes, and just a wonderful person to be around. She likes doing jigsaw puzzles. She knows how to do Sudoku, and she plays solitaire in order to keep her mind going. She likes to share memories how she used to play poker a lot and how she was a basketball player and all sorts of fun little stories. She likes talking to her friend, my client that I work for. And she recently just got her second round of a vaccine. So today we baked a blueberry pie and had some coffee and followed all the instructions on the box in order to make sure that it was done just right. We didn't have a baking sheet, so we had to make do with some of this tin foil that we had lying around the apartment. And the pie turned out just fine. Poke some holes in the top, make sure it didn't leak all over the place. Tin foil was there just in case we had a fruitful explosion of flavor, but it stayed nice and contained. There's something really special about being able to communicate and talk to someone who's been around as long as Sue has been around. They have some interesting stories to share. They have an invaluable perspective on what it means to be alive and to have survived as long as they have. But something that she said today really kind of hit home for me was that her son told her that she was the best mom he ever could have had and did a wonderful job raising him. And the look in her eye when she said that, it meant everything to her, and it made her, obviously made her whole world go around. It made everything, all 94 years of her life, worth it, just to hear those words from her son. And it got to me thinking about my grandparents that passed away in October, and how I was grateful to have been able to have the opportunity to tell them that I loved them and express my feelings to them before they passed. And it was good to be able to be on good terms with them, because none of us know how long we have to be alive here. We don't know how much time we have left. And it's too easy to just hold on to anger and resentment or negative emotions and feelings over petty and stupid things that we don't need to. I feel very lucky that I was in that position with both of my grandfathers that passed away in October, that I was on a good terms with them, and that I was able to tell them that I loved them before they passed. Because one of them we knew was going to pass, and the other one we didn't know was going to pass as soon as they did. I mean, not to get all, gushy or sappy or emotional about things, but life is precious, I mean, we don't know how long we got, and life's too short for bullshit. Life's too short to feel negative and down and angry and jealous and upset over things that really won't matter next week, much less 5-10 years from now. But you can't bet on being around for another 5 or 10 years, because we simply don't know how long we have here as individuals or collectively speaking. I mean, anything can happen. We can get hit by an asteroid tomorrow. There could be a huge solar flare. Maybe some sort of crazy cosmic wormhole or black hole just kind of unfolds and inverts reality or shrinks us down to something that's really small, smaller than any atom out there. We just don't know is the point. All the more reason to really take charge of your life and enjoy your life. Be kind to other people. I mean, there's a lot of BS and negativity in this world, and there's no need to add more to that, right? I guess that's just the thought of today after going over there and spending time with Sue and hearing what her son said to her and how that made her feel, and thinking about my own grandparents and my own parents, and thinking about how we treat each other on a daily basis and how we interact as strangers sometimes in public, and how wearing these masks has, and socially distanced, I think of it more as like physically distant, but just all these changes are happening so fast, and it's changing the way we interact and how we talk to each other and how we respect and love each other and how we do things on a day-to-day basis. And I'm seeing a lot of mental illness just getting worse from all this stuff. And I'm seeing more and more different types of mental illness popping up, and it's becoming the new normal. I hate to use that phrase too, new normal, but it's becoming something that's more prevalent and more acceptable in society, and just kind of like not even recognized, because it's just, oh, that's normal, people behave that way. It's like, no, we don't need to behave this way. And I don't know, I'm speaking very generally here today. This is off script and off cuff, just coming from my heart, but some things to think about. I like to challenge anyone out there who's listening. If you have beef with someone, if you're having a hard time, if someone wronged you, or if you're having a hard time communicating with a loved one, a family member, a friend, if you had a falling out or something, fix that stuff, because life's too short. We don't know how long we got. There's a better way to live, and that's with forgiveness, understanding, love, compassion, and doing the right thing whenever you can. So something else that I found inspiring when talking to Sue today was when I was over there, I got a phone call because I was putting on a waiting list for a vaccine. I applied for it, and I didn't know whether or not I wanted to get the vaccine or not, because I'm seeing these mixed messages with people in my social circle who work in the healthcare industry, as well as other people who were first in line or second in line to get the vaccinations. And I'm seeing a lot of folks who have had side effects from the second dose, particularly with one of the vaccines over the other. I'm not going to say the names or the brands of that. I don't want to go there on this channel. One of them seems like they're having a little bit more difficulties with side effects than the other. And I got a phone call while I was at Sue's house after I heard that she just got her second dose yesterday. And in the phone call, they said that they have an opening for me on Friday. And it's of the two brands, it's the one that I find more agreeable after doing a little bit of research about the technology behind it, and also hearing personal stories and anecdotes from people who've actually taken this particular vaccine. And they seem to be doing just fine. Our friend Sue, she took this particular vaccine also. She's 94, she's gonna be 95 in a couple months. She just had it the other day, and she's feeling just fine. I'm a single guy, 37 years old, no kids. I take care of a lady with disabilities. And I'm looking at someone like Sue, and I'm thinking, if it's good enough for her, and if she can handle it, I can handle it too. I know there's a lot of polarization about vaccines, to do it or not to do it, and all of that. And I'm of the school of thought that it's a personal choice, so you should be able to choose whether or not you are going to get that vaccine. And I've been on the fence about it for a while, but I think in this circumstance, in this instance, I think it's a good idea, and for me, and I think that I'm gonna do that. On Friday, I'm gonna go ahead and get my first dose, and I'm actually kind of excited about it too, because if it's good enough for all my friends who work in the healthcare industry, the doctors and nurses, and all the people on the front lines who are actually dealing with this stuff firsthand, and they're taking it, it's good enough for me. And if something crazy does happen with it, if I get some sort of microchip, which I don't think that's gonna happen, I don't think it's gonna change my DNA. I did the research on it. It doesn't actually contain any sort of tissues from things. They might have used certain types of tissues in the testing of these things and the development of them, but they're not using actual tissues from any sorts of organisms to manufacture this vaccine. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's important to make sure that you do your own due diligence and research this stuff for yourself, and make sure that you know what the source is you're reading and whether or not they have a political agenda. With all that being said, I know there's a lot of mixed emotions and mixed feelings and mixed opinions about how this stuff goes down. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But it's a personal choice for me, and I respect your personal choice to either get it or not get it. I know that's not a popular opinion to have on both sides of the aisle, it seems these days, but that's where I'm at. Now, I never have gotten the standard flu vaccine. Every year they give them away for free at various drugstores and whatnot. But that's never been something I'm interested in doing. But I do think there's a lot of value to having vaccines when it comes to bigger diseases and bigger issues. And for something like this, that's a new novel virus that seems to have some long-term damaging effects on people, as well as not only its lethal side, but long-term damaging effects to lung tissue and to one's body. And with how contagious it is and how fast it has already spread, I'm willing to roll the dice and just take it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that on Friday, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm doing it for other people. I wear my mask for other people. I'll get the vaccine for other people. I don't want to infect other people. It's easy for me just to go, I'm perfectly healthy. I don't have the virus. I don't have any diseases, but you just don't know if you have it. You can be a asymptomatic spreader of this stuff and not realize it. And the last thing I want to do is just spread this crap around. I mean, we had to go on all those lockdowns and do all these things already. And if we all did it, and if we all stuck with it, we probably wouldn't be in the mess that we are right now. And I know people want to point fingers all over the place over whose fault it is, left, right, up, down, this country, that country. The fact of the matter is that it happened and we have to deal with it and we have to respond to it the way we need to. And I'm just doing my part. So that's where I stand on it, folks. Thanks very much for listening. I didn't expect this rant to go in all these different directions, but I hope your takeaway is fix those broken relationships if you can. Tell the people you love that you love them. Let them know that. It means a lot to them. And sometimes that's what they really need to hear in order to get them out of having a bad time. And sometimes that's what they need to hear to make life worth living for themselves. So on that note, folks, I appreciate you watching this all the way to the end. Thank you very much. I love you. And go ahead, I dare you. Tell the people you love that you love them too. I double dog dare you. And knock off all that being a jerk stuff. It doesn't look good on you and it doesn't make anyone else feel good too. Stop being mean. It's horrible. Yeah, that's right, I told you. Alright everyone, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it very much once again. Remember to keep safe, be well, stay humble,